you for joining me in the practice of finding our way back to wholeness. During our audio session together, I will be talking with my village on how we are healing, changing paradigms, and degendering and decolonizing the mind. You are not alone. You are enough. Let's plant these divine seeds together. This work is for the collective from me, and there's a lot of magic that goes on behind the scenes. If you would like to make a non-cash offering to the temple that is me, please click below to visit this SSC wishlist on Amazon. Thank you and big hugs to a dear friend of mine, Riley Ann of the CatCalls, for providing the SSC intro music and some other musical goodies on the show. Learn more about her and the CatCalls on the description below.
Hey old man, what you looking at? I ain't your daughter, your mother, or some kind of lover. I'm just a woman who dares to exist in the presence of your ego. The things we don't talk about, skirt around. Cause we spend our lives dodging grenades and mines of your expectations to make you feel more comfortable. But I'm sick of being nice, sure as hell sick of being polite, when I feel your hand slide across my back just to say hi. I spent the first half of my life wanting to be more, in the fullness of my lips and breasts and sway of my hips. I spent the second half of my life fearing I was too sure, cause we're fed a diet of too much shame and too little ego, because nobody wants a bossy girl, not in this world built by men. Is my waist small enough? Am I tall enough? Is my voice soft-spoken and sweet? Am I thin enough, pretty enough? Tell me, am I too sexy? Am I coming on too strong or weak, or something in between? I'm lost in this dichotomy, but my body's not an apology. I learned from a young age that the worst thing you could call anyone is between my legs. And the best thing I could be called is pretty. But to be pretty, I needed curves. But I inherited all the wrong ones. So I should keep my mouth shut and eyes glued to the floor. Because it's he said, she said. But her throat's closing up and shame burns on her face. And his hand clenches over her mouth and nose. Although he's across the room and there's not enough air, her lungs about to explode. As she recognizes those spades in his eyes she's seen too many times. Is my waist small enough? Am I tall enough? Is my voice soft-spoken and sweet? Am I thin enough? Pretty enough? Tell me, am I too sexy? Am I coming on too strong or weak or something in between? I'm lost in this dichotomy, but my body's not an apology.
So, this morning has been spent with a little bit of tears. As I continue this first episode, My Body is Not an Apology, I'm finding the ways in which I still apologize for my body and how I also apologize for the bodies of other marginalized people. And it feels almost like you're given, like you're born in this box. And as you expand and you grow and your roots get bigger and your stalks get bigger, your leaves turn up toward the sun and you find out what you're truly supposed to be, you're still within this box or like pot. and your roots have nowhere to go. And no one wants to give you a bigger pot. I feel very hopeless today and angry and I want to punch all of the bullies in the face. And at the same time, I understand why they do what they do. It doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it okay. And it doesn't excuse what they've done to us. Yeah, I feel helpless.
Habados, Sispaye, na Asid, na Hinon, Hinon, no, Hatinicha. My name is Hasispaye, which means old man's son in Arapaho. My name is Micah. Most people call me Big Wind. I'm from the Wind River Reservation. And today I'm gonna teach you how to say, I guess the equivalent to my body's not an apology. In Hinona 8, our sacred language, And I guess you would say, Hika Danaku Badanaga, which means I'm not sorry, or I won't be sorry for my body.
Reflections on falling in love with my belly, body, self. Lately, I've noticed how disembodied I become when eating or fucking. My mind turns away from my belly, my roots, my pussy, my floor, essentially everything below its most comfortable home in my head. An insatiable hunger grows rapidly that is not rooted in nourishment but consumerism. Cut off from my roots, I cannot feel the moment when I've had enough. I can no longer define enough. What even is enough? In my head, there is no space for enough. My belly, my big, round, beautiful belly knows enough. My roots, my energetic entanglements to the earth know enough. My pussy, my dank cave of a divine, feminine, mysterious pussy knows enough. My floor, my squishy, transient, wild floor knows enough. They call to me, beckoning, sometimes seducing. And slowly I start to answer, to listen, to remember. That here, in these thick, full, and powerful parts, I am truly at home. And any discomfort comes from years of learning to hate my fatness, my connections, my pleasure, my path. Learning to love this is hard. Learning to live this is harder. And choosing to try, to come back, choosing my body is everything.
So something that's been running across my mind lately is when people misgender me, either by refusal to acknowledge my gender or dead naming me or for lack of seeing me. So for instance, on social media, people will comment on things I post and put sister or girl or niece or something that reminds me that they see me as a female. And here's the thing about that. I refer to myself in many different ways. I like being called dude. I like being called mother. I like being called sir. I do not like being called ma'am. I like being called sister only in the context of you acknowledging that I am non-binary. So if I post things about the gender spectrum and these same people that want to give me affirmation are never commenting, never liking those posts, but then feel comfortable using female-centered synonyms for my gender or name or affectionate names, whatever you may want to call it, not okay. Because you are ignoring the fact that I am non-binary. If you see those posts, you also see the other fucking post. And it just won't be tolerated anymore. So if you do it and you ain't in my circle, meaning we don't have regular conversations and they're heartfelt, and I'm talking to you about how I like to be referred, you may use they, them, their pronouns. Yeah, that's how I feel. And that's how I feel.
Enough is enough, what's going on? You're always mad, I don't understand. I can smell the lies right on your breath. You're making me sad, you're making me mad. I think there's a demon inside of you. You're screaming and you're yelling. I can taste the tears come right off my cheek. You can't hurt me, I won't let you. I can smell the lies right on your breath. You're making me sad, you're making me mad. I think there's a demon inside of you. Why are you so mean? I don't understand. It's always me and no one else. What have I done to deserve this? I'm lying under the covers, trying to hide from the demon inside of you. All I can imagine is someone is holding me tight. I can smell the lies right on your breath. You're making me sad, you're making me mad. I think there's a
So, I was
inside of you.
stepping into the shower today, and as I look in the mirror, I immediately feel my body and my spirit turning away from my own reflection. And as I'm noticing this, so many things are going through my head. One, how can you be doing a podcast episode about how your body is not an apology when you can't even look at it right now? And the other was sadness, fear, but what rang true was just grace and space for what I was feeling at that moment. And so I turned back and I looked at my body and I saw the body of an expansive being, chocolate coated, mountains and valleys, hills of experience. And I saw the body of a mother. I saw the face of my own mother, although we are not in contact right now. Her spirit is very much with me, and I hold a lot of her in my expression. So, that being said, being able to hold myself was nice today. I walk the face of this earth bowing to no one. I walk and I stare and I look. I walk and I look into the faces of strangers and hope to see reflected back at me the same love and compassion and respect and honor that I give myself. And if I don't see that, I still keep my head up and I still keep walking. And that has taken 27 years to figure out. And I'm still figuring it out. It's not perfect. This podcast is not perfect. We're not perfect as humans. But I think that it's wonderful that we can create spaces in which we're allowed to be imperfect and not apologize for that imperfection, but do hold ourselves accountable for our actions and how we move about in those spaces. I think there's a very big difference, and I could go on in a tangent that way, but I'm going to reel it back into my body is not an apology. When I was younger, I was taught that I needed to work towards something outside of myself in order to make up for the fact that I was Black. Whether that be training me to speak very distinctly, I was told by a woman at the Kingdom Hall. I was raised Jehovah's Witness. Every time she would see me, she would say, "I speak very distinctly." And I had to repeat that. So it was inculcated in me this idea that you yourself are not enough in this society, in this world. And so you must work hard to be something that is comparable to the overseeing class, white people. I was taught to be like a white person, or at least strive for that. Or the exceptional Black person, which is AKA the idea that you strive for being more white. I was also taught, intentionally and unintentionally, that my body forming in its natural ways was something that needed to be pruned or restricted or controlled. I was not allowed to celebrate puberty and all of its expansion, not just having a period, but having sexual urges, and having sexual urges that didn't revolve around simply a penis. And learning about my body. And also normalizing just being in my body. I always think, like, now in my own home, I walk around naked as I garden and tend to my wild things in the morning and cook in the nude. And when I was younger, my mother would, even as before puberty, she would say, people can see you in that window, put something on. And my thought process was, why do I need to hide in my own home? I feel safe here. I feel free here. Why can't I just be free? If someone outside sees me, what they choose to do with that viewage is up to them after that. Now, I'm not saying that it's okay to just be oogling people in their windows, but what I'm saying is, in my own environment, I do as I wish. I will be as I wish. Means that I will not overwater it, but let it grow wild and free,
grow out of its pot and like seek those rays of sunlight, and when it needs shade, seek shade. It means I am attuned to its needs, not for the sake of another person and to strive for other people's approval, but to strive for more depth and deliciousness and nuances within my own being. I asked for people to submit their own expressions of this because I cannot do this alone. Sunseed was not meant to be one person's voice resounding throughout its entire journey. It's meant to be a village. And also I was scared shitless to do this first episode.
Hey goddess. So I'm sitting here by the ocean pondering why my body is not an apology. And it's overwhelming, the response that comes from me, the sensation that my body gives me when I say those words. The more that I accept all of me, all of myself, all of my body, the more connected I feel to the earth, to my ancestors, to the divine. And I believe that my body is a vessel for those things to express themselves through. For the divine, for my ancestors to fill me and express through me on earth. So, of course, I'm going to honor my body and treat it as something sacred. But it's a process. Learning to love my body. It's definitely a process. So I wrote this song about the world inside of our bodies. It's really an invitation to drop your awareness into your body and listen to the wisdom that it has to share with you through sensation and through water. So I hope you enjoy. There's a world inside of us, an ocean full of possibility. There's a world inside of us, an ocean full of possibility. Let's dive into the sea of sensation. Let's swim in the sea of pulsing, undulating rippling, swaying, or drifting into the depths of our body, our inner sea. It's safe, it's soothing, it's healing, and knowing, fluid connection, fluid innovation, fluid resonance, fluid intelligence. It connects all of us. This ocean, this sensation connects all of us. The sea, full of possibility. This ocean in our body. It's a world inside all of us. An ocean in our body. A world inside of us. A world.
They say you have to be this, you have to be that, but you don't need a 10-star rating. You don't need diamonds to go with your clothes, you're perfect the way you are. No stereotype can change that. It's 2020, let's enjoy it, live your life, don't destroy it. No matter your gender, wear makeup, join the football team. It's 2020, let's enjoy it. Don't be the person to bring people down, that's who they aren't going to change it. It's 2020, we're better than this. No body shaming, no 10-star rating, that's their gender identity. That's their style, so don't just ruin their flow, because one word can change that. It's 2020, not 1940. In 1940, women stayed at home and made meals to take care of their family, until World War II came along because men couldn't solve their problems properly. Women got jobs and made their own money. They got to do their own thing. We bring people up not just for them to be brought back down. It's a new generation. Let's make something new. Love yourself and love others too.
Loving my body and not apologizing for it is the feeling I get when the sun hits my skin and I look up toward the sky, my father, son, and just show my gratitude for what it and Mother Earth have created, reflected in me. And the sun talks back. It's this wonderful conversation that has no words. It's this soft, powerful, hot embrace of just love and light and possibilities and creation. P.S. Walked into the house and still did not use the bathroom. Decided to make French fries instead. I'm going to the bathroom right now.
Yeah, so that's the end of the first Sunseed Community Podcast episode. I think what I've learned, and I hope what you've taken away from this too, among many things, is that this is a process. Loving our bodies is a process, and not giving a fuck and not apologizing for what our bodies are and who we are is also a process. It's a process and it's a practice. And it's hard, it's beautiful, and it's worth every fucking minute. Thank you to the people who submitted for this podcast and continuously encouraged me and continue to push me gently and lovingly but firmly to find my way back to wholeness. I love you all. Also, I'm definitely getting a professional mic for this. The quality was shitty.
I'm proud of all the things you're doing in the world and really excited to be in collaboration with you in supporting a paradigm shift or whatever. Okay, love you.